So we're looking at this question, how to attract your soulmate. You know, it has to be one of the most deeply looked into issues. People contemplate it, they seek to find the answers for it, they ask questions and they search and search. How do I find my soulmate? How do I know when it's my soulmate? How can they find me? So if we take that alone, all the energy and the different conundrums surrounding the soulmate issue, we can glean this much, that it is a convoluted topic, and therefore it has many variables involved in it and in finding your soulmate and how to go about it. So one of the things that we need to think of is the word soul. You know, you're asking, how do I find my soulmate? What does soul mean? It means the inner you, not so much the physical body, but who you are from within, the spiritual essence of you. And that's the connection that you're wanting when you ask for your soulmate connection. So that's the very first point to take on board. So if we know that you can't see it, or it's not on the physical dimension that we're talking about, but a much deeper level, we come to one of the other main factors, and that's integrity. And it has to do with your integrity and your values, and also balance. For you to engage in and activate and acknowledge and see your soulmate, romantic soulmate, come into your life, all of these factors have to be acknowledged and be in action. We all have individual laws of integrity. It's the basis of who we are. Form these foundations of our integrity from really inception and from our younger years and our adventures and events that come to us in our lives as we're growing up. And these are what form your integrity values, and they're specifically important to you. So when you are seeking to attract your soulmate or find your soulmate, those values, those core values, are actually going to be of the highest essence in finding your partner. So if we just move on with this thought process of being in balance, if we're not in balance or in harmony with our thoughts and our soul essence and the path of life that we're wanting to travel along, then we're unbalanced, and that means we're going to bring in the wrong energies into our life because our thoughts and our directions are not in harmony with our integrity values. So often you will bring in the energies coming in are unbalanced, and so you'll find this in all areas of your life. Your career might not be balanced, how you feel about the direction you're heading, the people around you, and not just a soulmate partner, but many aspects of your life. They'll just feel off. You'll be saying to yourself, oh yeah, I don't feel aligned, or I know what I'm doing there is not right. And that's when you need to listen, because I always say this to everyone, you do have the answers. It's just that you have to connect with yourself. We have to go inner more and get to that place of meditation and listen to the spiritual answers that we have within, because they give us the guidance and the direction to where we are going to be heading. We all seek that lovely euphoric feel that we find in romance, and sometimes we find that we are driven or attracted to someone with such passion, and oftentimes that happens when we see more similarities in the person than differences in them, and we're attracted to the similarities that they share or have with us, and that can be known as infatuation. And then when we see more differences than similarities, we are resentful towards a person, or we feel resentful towards their attitudes or behaviours or belief systems. When we have the perfect blend of all of those emotions, then we find love. Because true love doesn't have those feelings of wanting to judge or change someone, or wanting them to be who you wish they were, or wanting them to be the perfect person. Love is, as it says, non-judgmental. It comes from a place of the heart, from that unseen world, that unseen connection. Love is acceptance and tolerance and understanding and giving and compassion and support and nurturing. And all of these are the feelings that we are seeking when we ask that question, who is my soulmate, or where is my soulmate? But again, like any living thing, because love is your living soul, it requires time and effort to be put into these relationships, because relationships are living, and all living things grow and change. So over a period of time, what you might consider to be your soulmate in the beginning of a relationship, as the relationship grows and changes, you might doubt that, and you might say, we're both so different than when we were in the beginning. And that can well be the truth. But if you're allowing the relationship to be connected at that true soul level, you will work through it, and you will put the effort in, and you will see that differences are also very valid, because they challenge our boundaries and they help us to see beyond our restrictions, and they encourage growth, and they encourage our tolerance, and we learn about other perspectives. So when we have these deep and meaningful relationships that we allow to be worked through, we work through any negatives that crop up in them, because as I say, soulmate relationships are never going to be flawless and perfect. And I think in today's society we often get people with their expectations that these relationships are going to be just easy to find, easy to manage, and tick all the boxes. That people often say, how do I know if this is my soulmate? Generally, if you're having to ask that question, it probably isn't your soulmate. But remember this, love, like anything in life and any relationships, don't just happen in the blink of an eye. Everything takes time and effort. Everything in our lives is a connection of the effort we put in. So if we come back to the thought of how then do we bring in this soulmate energy into our life, first off, you have to be balanced, and you have to appreciate who you are and value yourself. You have to love yourself, and it's very, very true. And the other thing is, our thoughts are what creates our reality. We are co-creators of the very direction in life that we are headed. So what your intentions are and what your thoughts are is what you are going to bring into your life. And there is no doubt that your daily inspirations and aspirations and the direction that you take your thoughts is where your future is headed. And it doesn't happen overnight. This can take a long time and a lot of input. But hey, this is your life. So why wouldn't you put the energy into making sure that your future is going down the direction that your soul and your heart and your mind are taking you and are showing you all the messages and the insights into. You know, you open your eyes and be aware of the gifts that are coming in and then utilize them. So part of it is when you are seeking to bring this relationship in, think positively and visualize. It's all about the law of attraction. You have the ability to attract into your life the positive perspectives that you wish. So I often tell people, make a list. Lists are powerfully potent. They contain all of your dreams, and in it you have your dreams and aspirations and your ideals and your integrity values, and make it realistic and place it somewhere and keep it, and keep focusing on it occasionally, and keep that positive inspirational vibration towards those goals. That is how you attract your desires, one of which is your soulmate desire. When you make your list, and we can make lists for everything in our lives, not just for a soulmate partnership, it is powerful, as I say, to actually put down the written word, because you are transforming your thoughts into a physical reality, and that's part of the journey. Write down what it is you desire, because by doing that you have already created the first step of taking thoughts into realities. But be fair about this, and remember to connect with that integrity value of your subconscious or your soul. When you make your list, focus more on the deep and meaningful perspectives of your life. If you have a list that says, I want him to be, or this person to be 5'10" with dark hair and blue eyes, you know, handsome and financially independent and life and nurture me and, you know, give me everything I need, is that really realistic? You've got to be more about the deep core values, about the feeling and connection of love, about the nurturing and the support and the harmony and the joy. And remember this too, you've also got to be able to offer that person the same thing. This isn't a one-way street. It's always both sides in relationships. And I think sometimes we forget about the other half, the person that you're trying to co-create into your life. You have to be aware that what are you able to offer them? How much love, how much joy, how much harmony and support are you able to offer them? Because when it's balanced, that's when you're going to have this person come into your life. And that's when this person will be noticed by you. You'll suddenly go, wow, you'll both notice each other at the same point in time, because your values will align and you'll be talking to each other's soul, and you will just understand that. And from that point, you will then form the relationship that requires work on it constantly to keep the values aligned and the integrities aligned and the growth occurring. So you see, as I said at the very beginning of this video, it's an incredibly convoluted, complex situation, and not one that's easy, and not one that's necessarily going to be easy to have occur in your life or to maintain. But all things that are good and worthy are worth working on and worth waiting for. There's a saying that says true love is blind, but I think that's incorrect. I think infatuation is blind, and true love is actually seeing beyond what is there and seeing the depth of the relationship and the people involved. So remember, guys and girls, if you are seeking to find your soulmate and bring them into your life, The first step is to work through your end of the deal and to make sure that it's balanced and that you know who you are and what you want and that you love yourself and where you're headed and that you offer all of that out to this new soulmate, twin flame partnership that you are seeking. That you visualize it, that you bring it into life by verbalizing it or writing it down, that the law of attraction, you bring that into activity and action, that you send the thoughts out into the universe, that you persist with that, that you carry that on, and it could take a long time. For some it will be quick, but for others it can be a long work of progress in action, constantly ebbing and flowing to produce the results that you seek. And that is how you go about bringing in your soulmate relationship. Much aroha all, peace and love.